We moved back to Pennsylvania in the summer of 2027. March 2028. My mother and father forced me to admit myself, yet again, to the psychiatric ward. While in the van on the way there, my mother had exclaimed and claimed, "You said you wanted to kill me." The receptionist at Lancaster Regional Health Center had asked me upon arrival whether I was indeed homicidal or suicidal, to which both responses would have been a simple no. But nonetheless, I had spent 11 months in Lancaster Behavioral Health Hospital and Phil Haven from March 2028 to February 2029. My second time staying there. I had been admitted before from 2019 to 2020. My muscles were again strained for the last time while carrying a Tupperware box filled with DVDs and books to the library while at the EAU in Phil Haven. When my father came walking into the fire escape of the second floor room I returned to on race upon discharge from Phil Haven in February 2029, I had left an entire bag of SSRI meds behind on the dresser and then proceeded to get in the left rear passenger seat of the red Windstar next to my brother and headed back to Fairview. My assumed bedroom had been returned to the same arrangement it was in 2018, and I had found I no longer had my Sleepy's Calm mattress and was back to having to sleep in my grandparents' old bed I had used between 2018 and 2019. I had only been home for a month before I woke up on March 10, 2029 to my mother calling my name from the bottom of the stairs saying, "Chris, I want you out," and handing me a shit bag of Reg as per usual. I had taken it, proceeded to make sure ahead of time that I had permission, and called Stephen Smith. After I hung up I again asked for my black backpack, which my mother had gone into my brother's room requesting. I packed a phallic-shaped, green bong, my meds, my bowl, and the 14.3 G. Regardless, it was implied on the 11th of May, 2029 after a moment of confusion and an argument between Stephen and I about the inability to remember how old we were momentarily, but it would have been March 11th, 2029 and I would have been 32 not 19. When the police arrested me they said they're not going to put a 19-year-old in jail for marijuana. March 15, 2029, 2015, I was released from holding, arraigned, and waited for my parents to pick me up. After the police handed me my backpack back, I had found they returned my cabber. As it stands, it is December 28, 10 years after the incident, either 2025 or 2039. I am 29 years old or 42 years old. I'm with one of the only three loves I've ever truly had. My parents' inability to provide any assistance in transportation for dates during my sophomore and senior years for social meet or romantic endeavor made dating difficult. When I was 18 years old I had invited her and Caitlin Potts over to my house on Fairview one day after graduation after planning in advance an engagement being planned. The two of us had just walked into the bathroom at the same time with intent on taking a shower together like we had done as the three of us at Jason Potts' house in East York when we were 16, as two legal age adults who had planned and consented, but my mother in her bedroom had belligerently intervened, started belittling me and arguing with her, and never again allowed me to have a date over to the house, and never again did I get a date with someone of that status or figure and capacity. Either way, my current fiancé and I had a wedding ceremony suggested upon initial proposition set for October 2028. We changed our date to May 6th of the upcoming year. Upon return from Delaware March 15, 2015, 2029, to a supposed clock reset to 2015, which would March 15, 2029, or 2043, I went to work with my dad for our family's business, bought a Kindle that I would use until 2018, and at the end of summer 2015, 2029, 2043, I got my job at the market back. Went to court in May or June and started probation before judgment in August. The following October that year I was still getting emotional over how much I wanted that marriage to happen and how I had no point of reference due to a lack of reference to relations due to their occurrence being postdated. I was contacted over Messenger by Lydia's profile on Facebook, first by message, then a video call with what were considered to be their younger selves, which had not been the correct reference or age or body, yet I was asked if I wanted to get married. I started tearing up due to my last engagement ceasing prior to my return from New York in 2028, which was now 3 years in the past. I persist to endure.